out-talenting a team is a thing, right? I mean, you can out-talent people and win, and this is exactly what the Celtics are doing right now. They're out-talenting the Dallas Mavericks. This is a way to win. As much as you don't like it, that is, it's not a system. It's not that. No,
doesn't need to be a system.
This is a way. This is how it works, man. You get out-talented. This is how you can win.
This is when, Ricky Bobby and Cal really would be at their best, right? Sometimes you have to win.
but how can I win? How can I win? And
but Jaylen Brown and Jayson Tatum have clearly decided, you know what, you can be Ricky Bobby tonight if you need to be.
Look, and to tell you how deep the Celtics are, remember all of this being done without Porzingis. Yeah. All of this, and Porzingis not playing tonight. He was the big key, and they were missing him, and they were going to...
Well, and only 2 guys have scored off the bench for the Celtics in this game. Yeah. Tillman and Hauser combined 12 points, 4 of 5 shooting. Pritchard's 9 minutes, 0 for 3. So
look, and when you want to examine the ebb and flow of a series, right? The first 2 games were not incredibly great games by the Celtics, right? They just played a little bit better than the Mavericks did, right? First game, Porzingis off the bench gave them an incredible lift. The second game was Drew Holiday, right? And still, both these games,
if you had the Mavs plus 7.5, you got in.
Tatum had a great game distributing the ball, but shooting he wasn't great. But this was not where the Celtics play. And as much as you say, hey, the Celtics are going to give you a game every round, they're going to have a couple of games where they just fire on all cylinders. They were up 2-0, and they haven't even had that yet.
No, but that's it. You had opportunities to sneak back in and get them, right? And you didn't. And certainly game 2 is one that stands out. Luka getting the shot and whatever he does seems like every attempt, the foul call, he's looking, and the fact that he hasn't been teed up or tossed at this point is kind of incredible with the amount of demonstrative showing up of the referees.
Mike, that's because he yells and then he hides when the guys turn around.
Who was that?
I really know who it is.
Who said that? I heard that, but who was it? Wasn't me. But yeah, it's one of those for the Celtics. Now you're getting a bunch of wide open looks, 16-point lead here, 9:24. Tall order. PJ Washington actually just hit a shot, though. I mean, so that was encouraging.
Now,
for whom I don't know.
Now, look, now it's great. It's a great night for the Celtics. This gets to the second part of the conversation, right? Part 1 is Boston's deeper. You knew they were going to have a game like this, putting it together. This is just what we get from the Celtics. They're out-talenting everyone. But to get into Jayson Tatum here for a second, who has 27 tonight. He's 10 for 21 from the floor. He's having a terrific night, right? His 3-point, he's only 4 from it. He's still got 4 threes. Not shooting great a percentage from threes, but he's taken a lot of heat check shots to make me go, wow, here's a heat check from Tatum. There's a heat check from Tatum. Everybody criticizes Jayson Tatum, and the critics that he has, they don't want to give him any credit for being the superstar that he is. And I'm telling you, there's times when I see him with the ball in an offensive set where I think he's the most unstoppable player I've ever seen. Because he's big enough to get whatever shot he wants off. He's strong enough. He can get to the rim. He can take a fadeaway. There's times when I go, this guy is absolutely unstoppable. And you've seen over the course of his career, which is still in the first few years, how great of a star he is. But he's not the star that everybody has grown accustomed to the last few years in the NBA. He's not Michael Jordan, where I want to slit your throat and step on it, and I want to drink your blood on the way to the rim, right?
Wow.
That's the same thing. That's why everybody loved Kobe Bryant, right? Hey, I want to choke you out and make sure that you are not winning this game, that I'm going to do it. I'm going to hit free throws with a torn Achilles and then come out of the game. And it's the same thing to a degree with the Warriors. We're going to blow the doors off of you. Mm-hmm. We're going to come out and hit threes, and you're not going to know what the hell is going on, and Steph's going to do the goodnight thing, and Draymond's going to yell and scream, and Klay's going to say, I'm one of the 50 best players in the game, right? This is what we're used to. But Tatum's not that guy. Tatum's a Gen Z superstar. He doesn't lead in the way that we expect or have grown accustomed to our stars leading, so we don't like him as much. Oh, Jayson Tatum needs to do this. He needs to say this. That's just not who he is. Jayson Tatum is a phenomenal player on the court, and you know what? You got to give the Celtics credit for achieving. They've been to the finals now twice with him as their best player. He's really bleeping good, but just because he's not Jordan and he's not And he's not even peak LeBron that, Tatum doesn't, Tatum, he's overrated. He's this. Even if they win this year, they're not going to win next year and all this stuff. It's find a way to move the goalposts on Jayson Tatum. When seriously, it's okay. It's time to give the guy credit. You don't need to be that kind of guy. And let's face it, there's not a lot of guys like that now. It's a different time. It's a different NBA. It's different in 2024. The players that have come up now have come up differently than the players coming up. There's more than one way to lead and more than one way to be a great player. And we've seen Tatum. Hey, I know when to take over. I don't make all the shots, but I know when I can facilitate, which is what he did in game 2. I know when you need me to take the big shots, which is what we need now in game 3. Like, it's time to give him some credit and give him some flowers because because everybody keeps moving the goalposts on him, he just doesn't get that, and he needs to. I mean, are we going to really sit here with him holding up the Larry O'Brien trophy and go, "Hey, he still stinks"? I mean, people are going to still try to do it when that's wrong because he's just a different kind of guy.
Well, and that's it. Normally, he responds to the critics with a little bit at the podium, and then he goes out and has some big games. And as Ryan Hollins has been sitting with me on Sunday mornings, Fox Sports Sunday 6 to 9 Pacific. Tune in wherever you're at on the iHeartRadio app. Shameless plug. Talking about him. Sometimes he then gets into I'm going to do it all, and it gets them into, quote, a little bit of trouble because it's hard to criticize what they've done this year. Right, in terms of when he does have a game, because you don't have a lot of losses. Mm-hmm. Regular season or playoffs, you've kind of run roughshod through everybody. So now you get into that nitpicking kind of thing. Now, I'm a Jaylen Brown guy myself. So you've got two guys running in parallel. And look, even Jason Kidd before the series was doing everything he could to try to get them to go at each other.
How do I get a little bit fight on the court?
I got nothing. I know we're overmatched and outmanned.
Hey, but Adam Silver, if I get two guys on the same team to fight, do they still get technicals and thrown out of the
yellow
game?
Cards and done.
And we shoot free throws, right? Yes. That happens, right? We don't have to have a guy on our team fight. Okay, just want to make sure.
Yeah, we've seen that in soccer.
Yeah.
Right, he just got a yellow card. No, it's...
He just fought his own player.
So it's that kind of thing of try to get them against each other, and then it's just which side you go. And typically, me being a 5'7" ish little fire plug of a guy, I'll usually go to the guard. As my chosen guy. And for Jaylen Brown, you've seen him do some of that taking over. And he gave us one of the great quotes also, between the Eastern Conference Finals into the finals, ask what he did with his time off. He goes, well, a lot of other guys, families, they've got to get the kids around and, you got your time. He goes, I don't have the family. I don't do that. So I just watched all the Harry Potter movies. So that kind of endeared him to me. Just kind of like, well, I didn't have a lot of responsibility, so what did I do? I watched some movies and kind of hung out.
I got to say, 5 is the best movie and 4 is probably the best book.
I mean that's the obvious follow-up. Are you an Azkaban guy? Or what are we talking here? But, for Jaylen Brown, for Jayson Tatum, they're going to be linked at the hip. And if you get the title, perhaps for a moment, everybody shuts up. If only for a moment.
I don't know, man. I don't know. I think there's such an Tatumness out there that the Celtics win and people, well, it's a fluke. Look at the easy run they had. Everybody was hurt.
No, but
they're never going to do this
but
again.
People are going to do that regardless. That was set up no matter how well or poorly he played. But that's been the last couple of years. It's like we look at the path and then it becomes, they didn't have to play that guy. They didn't have to play that guy. It's like, okay. Like you don't have to play every team in your, conference playoff bracket. And somewhere along the way, some team's going to get beaten that unfortunately they were not at full strength, right? Go back through, your Knicks and the early run they had. Like people appreciated the moxie. Did they get everybody's best shot? No, there were injuries. Yeah, no, that's the way it works.
If the Knicks had somehow won one more game and played the Celtics in the conference finals, they would have got blown out.